No matter what kind of projects you have around the shop, if you're looking for some tips and help, it's time for Sam's Garage, presented by Lund International, with Sam Mamolo and Sam Madavi.
Got our little 5-liter Ford here. We're getting ready to put it in the car, and we got to have, of course, accessory drive, but put a brand new Tuff Stuff water pump on it. I'm putting some spacers on because we're going to put a nice front drive kit. Because this is going to get an alternator, AC compressor, new water pump, and a power steering pump. If you're familiar with Tuff Stuff, always said that chrome will get you home because it's all new stuff, made in America, made in Cleveland, Ohio. They just introduced a new finish, and it's called Factory Cast Plus. And this is what it looks like. It's a gray coating, it's real pretty. It's got a polymer coating on it, and this will stay like this forever. If it gets dirty, you wash it with a wet rag. Here's what raw aluminum, like the competitors' alternators, look like after 30 to 60 days in the atmosphere. It's looking pretty rough. This is a high current output alternator. And you can see here on the alternator, they got a ground tab. When you start coating parts, whether you do powder coat or this kind of coating, you're always going to have bad ground. So they put a ground tab there. It's got a 1-wire alternator, high output, keep the engine compartment nice and clean. The regulator kicks in at low speed, so you got plenty of current output while you're cruising low and slow. And remember, this thing had originally like a 40-amp alternator, very light stator feed. Optional, they've got an 8-gauge stator feed. When you start doing a high current alternator, high amperage alternator, that's what you need to do. They put this coating on master cylinders, alternators, power steering pumps, all kinds of things. First thing I did is I got the parts list and I laid it out, because there's a lot of pieces in this. Now, they don't make brackets, so we've got a setup for March. All the brackets are powder coated. This pump's got the same finish on it. Lay out all the parts, look at your parts list, and your best friend is going to be a tape measure. If you're fooled with small block Fords, you know every bolt is a different length and there's different threads. Another tip is you got a lot of steel going into aluminum, some stainless steel bolts, some steel bolts. Put anti-seize on it so it doesn't marry it. I'm going to start assembling all this. First thing I'm doing is putting on my harmonic balancer. You don't need an installer on these Fords because the bolt's long enough. You just drag it in. Put a little lube on it. I'm going to pull this in. Then I'll start assembling this. It's going to take a little while. And I'll see how much of this I can get done. And what I don't get done, I'll finish up next week. All right, now this is all nice and powder coated. This is from March, and it's going to mount up here. This will carry our air conditioning compressor and our alternator here. Just follow the instructions. That's why we have all these spacers. And I'll figure it all out here for sure. See, power steering's on this side, and we got to go like something like this. And there's more spacers. Again, you're going to have some bolts. Make sure you pay attention to where the short ones go in, the long ones, and there's some spacers. These spacers are threaded on both ends. So I'll put this in. Then we'll have some of these real long, go all the way through the cover into the block, through the water pump. This is going to take a spacer right here. And again, the instructions tell you step by step. Each bolt, you measure it and put it in. I'll just continue on with this till I get it all put together. And we'll finish it up and we'll have a nice serpentine belt drive. Got our main bracket all bolted up, and again, it's loose. Got a rear alternator bracket that's going to go on the head, and they give you all the hardware in the kit, because some of your Fords are 3/8, some are 7/16. I'll go ahead and put this on and I'll continue. Next week we'll have this all put together, everything hooked up and a belt on it, and show you a neat way to tension a belt.
Sam's Garage, presented by Lund International, is being brought to you by Low-Car Performance Products. Quality, plain and simple. Stage 8, the world's best locking fastener. Brothers Truck Parts, your #1 source for 1947 to 87 Chevy and GM truck restoration. AMP Research, innovation in motion. Rod End Supply, we don't just sell them, we race them. Welcome to the Brothers Truck Parts Workshop.
All right, folks, now one of the most common problems on these older trucks is, over the years, the battery acid will rot the battery tray itself. So what you want to do is you want to replace it, okay? And we've already sprayed PB Blaster on the hardware. I'm going to go ahead and remove and replace this battery tray with one of the Brothers OEM fit battery trays. Now, I'm going to be putting a late model LT1 motor in this. And Steve, what do you have for that particular swap?
Well, first, I kind of want to point out that this is common, and somebody's come in here and put a tray in here to try to avoid the effects of the acid on the tray, but that didn't work. So what you really need to do is just get in there and replace the tray. But to your question, what a lot of guys are doing nowadays when they're doing these LS swaps, late model LT1 swaps, because those motors have the factory intake going to the passenger side and most often have the accessories passenger side as well as the radiator hoses, they're liking to move the battery onto the driver's side. So we have reproduced the auxiliary battery tray that was a factory option, and the guys are using those for the LS swaps as well as the LT1 stuff. But you can use it on a stock truck as well if you want the dual battery option like the factory offered. And so what that does is moves the battery to the driver's side, relocates your voltage regulator to the side of the battery tray. And then if you're doing the stock style, you're going to use this wiring harness, which will basically link your two batteries and use this relay to actuate the second battery so you can run your accessories. If you got a big camper, you can run your camper longer and so on. Now, the guys with the LT1s, LS motor conversions, they're just going to move that battery over there just to get it out of the way and to make all the hose routing and all their other plumbing more simple for their project. How you doing there?
Not bad. Look at the way the battery tray came out. Just like we said, over the years, it is completely rotted in two pieces, when this should be one piece, just like this. Now, on the left side, if you wanted to install this, we removed the regulator because we're not going to be reusing the regulator on this car because we're going to be putting an LT1 in there. So the regulator normally sat underneath this tray. You remove the regulator, there's an existing boss that you can use to line up and position your tray straight. Underneath the tray, you put the factory bolt in, then you can drill 3 holes and put self-tappers in those 3 holes, and that way your battery tray is fully installed.
So what's the plan with this, Sam? Are we going to set up this with dual batteries, and then when you put that LT1 in here, we're going to eliminate the passenger side battery and just run on that one?
I think so, because this car is going to have a big stereo system as well, and it's always good to have extra power to run your system in case you go to the car shows.
Good point.
You can still crank your truck and go home.
Absolutely, good point. All right, well, let's get all this junk out of here and get our other battery tray installed.
Yes, sir. See that? Brand new, one piece, like it should have been.
Now, James just shot a bunch of video of that rust. So can I talk about the segment we're going to do tomorrow where we're fixing that rust? Okay. So as he's putting that
There you go.
Hey man, you did a great job putting these battery trays in.
Thank you.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go ahead and get this side post battery wired up for our auxiliary.
Okay.
I think we're finished.
This is absolutely gangster. This will be nice when it's all done. We'll actually loom the wires and it'll look good.
All right.
This is the DS18 Project Supra.
Wow, check out this trunk, man. You guys have done an extravagant job back here. What have you got back here?
Well, let me introduce you to the new DS18 EXL series, which are still not available, but we brought these exclusive for the Supra build.
You're talking about those amps, correct? Now, what kind of specs are you guys pulling with those?
This amp has SMC technology.
What's SMC technology?
SMC technology actually is a lot of power in a small case.
What kind of power output you guys getting out of those?
This amp actually gives 1600 RMS and this one 600 RMS with less current.
It's a lot of power. Now, what about this EQ? What benefits is there to have that?
Though this EQ actually gives a better sound quality. It has a lot of extra features. You don't really need to have an aftermarket radio to have this EQ in.
So basically, you're getting a lot of volume with no distortion, correct?
It's not volume. You can adjust your system however you want it to perform.
Absolutely, that is very cool.
Another cool feature that this EQ has is that we installed the bass knob in the dash so he can control the bass without having to take his seatbelt off or getting out of the vehicle.
That is awesome. And this is why you guys, when you're building a project like this, custom Supra, and you're building the interior to have the best sound system you could ever get in a vehicle, you gotta look at DS18 because they do it all from sound to amplifiers to EQs and speakers. All right, guys, we're gonna be starting the most important part of the build, which is the wrap that Luke and Kyle from Sticker Dudes are gonna be go ahead and installing on this vehicle. And we're gonna start with this side here. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing with that sticker.
Well, basically what we've done is we wanted to go a little different than your traditional graphics, where most guys like to put their logos over the top, kind of show off their branding, their sponsors and things like that. So we've decided that we wanted to take your logo and do what we call embossing. We lay down a vinyl decal first, and then we're going to wrap our Arlon material right over the top of this.
And it's going to give it that ghost effect, correct?
It creates like a 3D, essentially a 3D effect. It raises it up about 3.5 mil away from the car.
That's awesome.
It's just enough to look classy. People notice it, but it's not just in your face.
Very cool.
So we applied the yellow tape here just to create our line. It's going to, it's our body line that we're following because we're going to cut this with a second color. We're using a diamond white on here.
What kind of prepping do you guys do when you install your wrap?
We personally prefer to use a prep clean, which is a wax and grease remover.
Right.
And that removes any of the impurities from the wrap, or from the surface of the vehicle. Wax obviously is a big deterrent and a big issue.
I know this kind of job takes a lot of patience, something I am not good at, for sure.
Well, we've been doing this for 27 years.
That's incredible.
So I would hope we've got some experience with this. Now right now we're putting a little bit of heat to this. Can't get too hot. Heat just kind of softens the material, gets some of the wrinkles out, and makes it a little more pliable for Kyle over here. And then we're going to start stretching it over. With this particular material, when you're using the mats, you can't get too hot. If you get it too hot, it'll start to essentially gloss itself.
That is very cool. All right, guys, what they're going to do is they're going to finish up this fender, and we're going to go onto the door. That way, Rob and Diego can go ahead and finish installing the door panels on the inside, completing the audio system, and then we're going to come back and finish up the wrap around the whole car.
You know, coming to SEMA and tool shopping is always a blast because there's a lot of great tools. But I'm here in the tight reach booth with Ewing Lambert. Now, you invented this tool, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
It's a great tool. Now, this is the one we used on TV last year, last season. This thing works great. Had it in the front of a Jeep, get down inside the bumper.
Sir.
Again, these aren't tools you reach for every single day, but when you need them, they'll really save you now. This looks new. This is big.
Yes, we just launched this here at SEMA also. This will do up to 1,200 foot-pounds. Wow. It's a 1-to-1 gear ratio. Also, it's a lifetime warranty. You use your own sockets and your own
and you can put an impact gun on it.
Yes, sir.
Look at that. Great way to go. Get in a tight space. Great around trucks. Tighten up straps on tanks and stuff. That's nice and long. What do you got there?
This is 24 inches long. This is also new. This will go up to 400 foot-pounds, and also with the one gear ratio. Also a lifetime warranty, and you can turn it right down here, and also you can put the
take this
socket
out
on the backside also.
Go the other way, whatever you want to do. Yeah. This is a great way to go. Now this is for develop for aircraft.
This is good for the aviation industry, working on like on the wings and also the tail, and also it's good for the working on combines in the farming industry.
Sure. In the ag industry, there's a lot of places like on combines, got big blades and stuff.
Yes, sir.
This thing will take 400 foot-pounds of torque. You can use an impact gun on it, and of course it has a lifetime warranty. These tools are really a great deal. You don't reach for them every day, like I said, but you know, Father's Day is right around the corner. What a great idea. Get one of these for yourself, but get one for Dad too. I'll tell you what, every time he uses it, he'll think of you. Great tools, buddy. Good to see you.
Thank you, Sam. Nice seeing you too.
Sam's Garage, presented by Lund International, has been brought to you by DS18. We like it loud. Appalachian Tourism. Virginia is for lovers. AVS, inventor of the Vent Visor Side Window Deflector. HE&M Saw, the saw that cuts straight.
You guys, when I built my 2015 JK Jeep Wrangler turbocharged, made almost 400 horsepower to the wheels on 37s. It was a 6-speed manual car. And I would have loved to have this B&M Racing and Performance NSG 370 6-speed manual shifter. Not only is it anodized billet aluminum with chromoly internal parts and stronger detent springs, but it comes with a lifetime warranty. The cool thing is that it gets rid of that soft shifter feel that you'd get from the factory, and it reduces the throw 35%. For all you guys who are rock crawling or possibly racing your Jeep, it's going to give you that quicker shift to be able to maybe get up that hill quicker or beat the guy you're racing. For all you automatic JK guys, we've got this black anodized machine billet, CNC machine billet shifter, both tall and short, very easy installation, and they've got awesome ergonomic fit and feel. So for all you JK owners out there who want better shifter feel, go to B&M Racing and Performance.
It's time for the Lund International Custom Shop.
Good.
We're all set.
All right, let's get it positioned. Oh. It's really lightweight, huh?
Very lightweight.
Yep. Great combination.
Strong too.
Absolutely. That 056 is a great commercial series weight. All right, so at this point, I'm going to open the, get it lined up. I got about 2
You
fingers.
could even do a
on this
finger test here.
Yep.
Put a finger in there and see how much room you have, 1 or 2. Put some in over here and see how much room you have.
Feels to be about the same. Looks good and centered to you.
And that's a great way of lining this thing up. You can't use somebody else's finger on one side and your finger on the other side because your fingers are a different size.
You want to go ahead and
Okay.
open that back up?
All right.
Great. So the J-hooks are included. All the hardware is included.
All right, let me jump in there with the tools and we'll go ahead and get this thing installed.
Got a big fender washer. You want to put that up on top. And a nice lock washer, lock nut to go underneath.
All right, so tell us about the locking mechanism on this.
Well, it is a great locking mechanism. Obviously, you see that there's 2 strike plate pins. Those are fully adjustable, which is great because over time this box is going to have a little bit of flex, and then you're going to need to make sure that these are always lined up and opening and closing properly. They lock with a key that's provided, one from each side, so you can also unlock it from one side and open both strike pins. So it's a really nice feature because it's lockable from one side and it's also openable from one side.
That's cool because then that way you don't have to go clear around the truck to open your toolbox.
Absolutely. Great.
Nice
not going
and tight,
anywhere.
looks really good.
Absolutely.
And it's got the dual shocks to help assist with the doors, and it opens up at a 90-degree angle, giving you plenty of room to get your tools in and out.
Full access, absolutely.
Very cool. This thing's gonna last a lifetime, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's a good sturdy box, and for any reason it does fail, don't you hesitate to call Lund because we'll stand behind this box with a lifetime warranty.
That is very cool. It's just easy, spring-loaded as well.
Absolutely.
We're here with Jason from Lund, and we're gonna be installing a set of the Amp Research BedStep 2s on this 2015 Ford truck. Now tell us a little about this. I love the construction of this, durability, the coating. The good thing about when you order something from Amp Research, you want to make sure that you're ordering stuff that's quality like they have, because when you're buying parts for your vehicle, you want it to last the life of the vehicle and not have to change it down the road. And I just love the construction of these.
Yeah, thank you. So we designed this really for the side step for bed access. The trucks are getting taller and taller, especially with lifts, wheels, and tires. So it makes it, harder and harder to get up into your bed. So this is a great solution where you have it when you need it and you put it away when you don't need it because of the spring-loaded design. It's a no-drill installation, and by going into the frame, it supports up to 300-pound load.
One step.
One step.
That is so cool.
Yeah. And the beauty of the design, it's all aluminum and stainless steel, so there's no corrosion over time. It'll last you a lifetime.
And that is what's important, because the last thing you want to do is buy an accessory. I've been doing this a long time, and that accessory will wear out way before the truck, or it's time for you to get rid of your vehicle. And that's not cool. All right, you want to go ahead and put those speed clips in the frame?
Absolutely.
I'm almost done with this piece. We'll install the second piece, and we can put it up in the truck. And the cool thing is the hardware already has a little dab of thread lock on the threads. All you got to do is snug them down, make sure they're tight, and you're ready to roll.
You add this frame mount right on the end.
Okay. And this is something that really one person can install by himself in a matter of minutes.
Absolutely.
I'm going to hold it in place and you start them.
Yep.
There we go.
These steps are universal, so you want to make sure when you put it on the linkage, you don't center it so it's hitting the tire. You want to make sure you get it over as far as you can away from that tire so you get as much clearance. And it has notches, so all you do is put your screws up through the linkage into the pad.
Very cool. Hey Sam, check out the new Sam's Garage showroom.
Awesome.
We got our sponsors in here as well. What do you think?
Nice and bright, airy. But you didn't leave any room for an office for me.
I got room for you here. We'll make some room for Sam.